When Marvel fans saw that these were the results that Rotten Tomatoes had for Eternals, which has been promoted as diversity and representation, the film, with really no one interested in anything to do with this story because honestly, it looks pretty boring. But if you get told time and time again that the reason you should love it is because of the diverse characters, because we did race swaps, we did gender swaps, and we have gay characters on screen, well, when you try to appeal specifically to the critics and even they don't like it, that should really tell you maybe you've gone too far. Maybe you need to get back to basics and maybe you should focus on actually putting out a good story. 59% briefly on Rotten Tomatoes. It is back up, just for clarification. It's up to 60% now, but that is still the lowest rated MCU movie of all time. To be clear, as I've said many times before, I don't put stock in critic reviews because I quite frankly don't care what most of the critics think. They put emphasis on a lot of different things that I usually do not. But when you make a movie, when Kevin Feige and Disney go out to make a movie specifically to pander to these people being the critics, and even they think that it focused too much on representation and not enough on the story, you know that you have completely missed the mark. And already you see sites trying to spin, like this one, The Direct. This happened on IMDb, which, why can you even rate a movie on IMDb before it's released? I don't know. I don't have a good answer for that, but I do know that they allowed it. And some people went and reviewed Marvel's Eternals who clearly had not even watched the movie yet. But there's something missing from this headline, and I'll explain that. Marvel's Eternals gets review bombed for LGBTQ plus relationship. Man, you left a lot of context out, didn't you? Shill Marvel site, because that's what this is. Marvel's Eternals is about to make its theatrical debut and anticipation is high. The upcoming MCU epic has gotten largely positive reviews, with press members praising the film for its ensemble cast, time-spanning story, and overall impact on the greater canon. Does that look like, just a ton of praise? Does that really look like a ton of praise to you? Well, that's what the shill side is saying. And what they're going to direct your attention to are some of these reviews. Woke and mediocre. If Woke and mediocre would be given a medal, this would win. Come on, Marvel. This was cheap even for you. Such a crappy movie like this could only be done with Angelina Jolie and her style of making amendments to movies. Not watchable at all. Someone says it's sucky. Totally unrecognizable from the comics. All it does is tick the Hollywood woke boxes, which seems to be the goal, not storytelling. But that's hardly surprising these days. So you would think that it's just slammed with these fake one-star reviews. Isn't this interesting? This entire article is telling you that this movie is being review bombed by people who have not seen it because they hate the LGBTQ plus representation. Well, that accounts for these 451-star reviews, if that's the reason. What about the double that? You had twice the number of fake 10-star reviews from audience members review bombing this. And that is the thing that these people always want to hang on to. They say, it's review bombing. If you say it's a bad thing, if you say this movie's bad, you're review bombing it. It must be because you hate women, you hate minorities, you hate all of these things. Some people just don't like the story or don't like what's being pushed. But they never talk about this right here. The fact that over twice as many people positively review bombed this. Fake Marvel fans, Marvel stans that are going and review bombing this movie. Never gets said. What they focus on is this number here. But somebody may have made a little mistake. Maybe they jumped the gun a little bit early on this. Maybe Marvel didn't want them to come out and say this right here. Kumail Nanjiani, who is a star in this film, retweets this article without reading it clearly because he obviously didn't see that so many fans had positively review bombed this. He says, looks like we're upsetting the right people. Eternals opens November 5th. How often have we seen this from people at Disney? How often have we seen this from people at Star Wars and now at Marvel? Happy to be upsetting fans. Happy that apparently, in your mind, you've pissed off a large segment of the fan base and you're happy about that. Get fucked. If you don't like this movie, you must be a bigot. That's actually what they think. Legitimately what they think. And I want you, if you don't think that this is the way they've marketed it, if that is like the way they're programmed to talk about this, simply about the diversity and representation, we need to listen to something. We have Gary, my man Gary from Nerdrotic. He put out this video yesterday. We have to listen, at least to the first little part, because somehow he tortured himself with watching this red carpet premiere that they did. Listen to what is coming out of their mouths.
The diversity of such a diverse team.
Diverse, different.
Diversity. You're a woman of color as well. Representation.
For so long, we've seen superheroes that have looked like a small percentage of the world. Different.
We have a lot of representation.
Diverse.
Everybody looks different. Everybody sounds different.
A lot of people are going to see themselves as superheroes for the first time.
Diversity and the inclusion.
Different.
That's just a snippet. That is just snippets of this from their little red carpet thing. That's all it was about. And then if people have a bad reaction, if fans have a bad reaction to it, what are they going to do? They're going to say that they're bigots. They're going to say that they don't like it because of this. But what do you do when the very people you're pandering to don't like it? That's the real question. What are you going to do when Christian Toto says, don't blame the progressive nods for the film's failures. The limp plot does the damage. So the people, the very people who love diversity and representation and will praise things just because of it, are now saying, yeah, this film is not very good. In fact, it's the worst MCU movie ever. And you have people trying to do everything they can to cope right now. Like this person. My brain cannot comprehend all this internal hate. It definitely feels targeted. And they go on to explain they think it's because of the diversity. And it's like, are you kidding me? It's coming from the critics themselves. And as someone I think they pointed out here, yeah, there you go. Is it really because of the diversity? Is that really why you think the critics don't like it when you look at Black Panther compared to what they think about Eternals? I'll say it again. I don't care about the critics, but it's funny to see the people that this is supposed to be for shitting on this movie. And it's also really funny to see all the people who are now freaking out, who have hung their hat on the critic reviews and say, well, the audience, they don't like it. It's just because they're toxic. They're review bombing it because it's got gay characters. Well, looks like nobody likes this movie. And, you know, I got to say this for Marvel. I'm impressed. I did not think that you could get me interested in Eternals, but you have, because now I'm interested to see what a fucking dumpster fire this thing is going to be.
Thanks for watching, everyone, and a huge shout out to my patrons. I appreciate you guys so much. Want to follow me on Twitter or Instagram? Check out the description below. You'll find links to my P.O. box and my Patreon as well. And I'll talk to you guys later.